Hello, everybody. We are live before the Downbeat, a musical podcast live. Movie musical commentary is alive. We are back after our hit with the 1961 version of West Side Story. We have returned, and we are now back to doing another one. This time, we are doing the iconic 2008, I can't believe it is 2008, film version of Mamma Mia. Back in 2008, my wonderful guest, who you can see here on the screen with me, we were going into grade 9 in September of 2008. So this came out the summer before we went into grade 9.
I can't believe that's 2008. I could have swore this movie was later.
Well, the sequel came much later. It came almost like a decade later.
Yeah, but I thought this was 2010 or 2011. Anyway, 2008.
No, 2008. This was a 2000. This was the same year, I believe, as 2007 was Hairspray, High School Musical 3, and I forget what the third one was. Hairspray, High School Musical 3. I forget what the third musical was that year. This came out the summer after. So I think this was the only musical that summer, but it was big. Like, my whole family went and saw this in theaters together.
Saw Mamma Mia?
Oh yeah. We got the DVD for Christmas. Like, I remember watching this on the coach bus during the choir trip that year. We sang a medley of Mamma Mia songs at the concert gala at the end of the year. Like, this was big. This movie was big. Like, I remember my aunt was getting married that summer, and all my aunts wanted to do a song from Mamma Mia as like a gift to her. My mom quashed that. She's like, "Yeah, I don't sing, and neither do we. So this would just be a really bad experience for all. Let's not do this." So, yeah. But anyway, so I never probably introduced you. Anyway, today, ladies and gentlemen, Autumn is moving. She has officially become a homeowner. So she has been moving this week, so she will not be with us. But instead, we have our wonderful guest co-host, the lady who appeared very frequently on last season, whether as a guest or a guest co-host. She is my friend from Portable 303 at Eastview Secondary School. She recently got engaged. It is Ms. Jessica Maxwell. Hello, J. Maxwell.
Hello. This is the first time my face is on here, I think.
It is. Nobody's ever seen your face. They've heard your voice many a time, but they don't ever get to see the video footage like I do. So
no,
this is your face.
Whether you like it or not.
This is what Jessica is. I mean, you may have pictured a totally different face, but this is her face.
Mm-hmm. It's me.
It's you. It's you in the sunrise. It's you in her cup. Music Man. We'll do that one at some point. I just got the Hugh Jackman cast album for Music Man, and that they messed up Shapoopy. They changed all the lyrics to Shapoopy to make it now modern day. The man's got to find the woman. It's like, seriously, we didn't change Sadder but Wiser Girl, but we changed Shapoopy. Anyway, I could rant on that one.
You're gonna write a strongly worded letter. I can feel it.
Yes, I'll write a strongly worded to Hugh Jackman. Why was this song changed? I came in expecting the Family Guy classic song, and instead I got a totally different version with different lyrics. And I'm like, this doesn't work. The Boy Who's Seen the Light, honestly, no thank you. No, thank you. So, yeah, so Jessica, tell us how your summer's been. You just got back from a Chicago trip.
Yeah, I came back from Chicago not even a week ago. Went there for a week for a music festival and just a vacation, and it was awesome. My second time being there. While I was there, we walked around downtown and we saw several theaters, all playing a bunch of different musicals. Of course, while we weren't there, Wicked was supposed to be playing. I think performances started the Tuesday we left, because of course. And I think Anastasia was like the week after, because of course.
Yes.
Lion King in November. I'm like, all these musicals that are coming. And not when I was there. It's fine. But
Did you do some research for our upcoming movie musical version of Chicago that we're going to be covering in October?
I should have. They did have it was like history of mobsters and stuff like that. And I feel like the gangs in the 20s and 30s would have correlated perfectly with the themes of Chicago. But I did not visit the Cook County Jail, if that's what you're asking.
Darn it, Jessica. I was expecting a full essay on the history of the Cook County Jail.
Sorry.
All right. Well, Jessica, what do you say we get into this movie? Jessica, you will be watching on Amazon Prime. I have mine queued up on Crave. We'll have a version of the film playing at the bottom of our screen so you can see where we're at in the film, but there will be no sound on it. It will just be visuals with Jessica and I commentating over top of it. And if you would like, you can always ask us a question. So please, if you're watching us, send us in a question. Send us in your comments about what you think or just your thoughts on the movie as well. Do you think Pierce Brosnan was unjustly vilified and made fun of in this movie? Is he better than Russell Crowe? There's the question. There's the bar. Who would you much prefer to see in another movie musical? Pierce Brosnan or Russell Crowe? So, there we go. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. So we're starting our streams now. There we go. We are beginning. We are in. I'm putting on the screen share. We now have the Universal logo coming up. There we are. And Universal is the company that will be doing Wicked with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. That will be coming out apparently next Christmas. I don't know if we'll actually make it to that one because we just only got the casting for Fiyero this week.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what they're up to. I don't know if they're already been filming or rehearsing and they're just holding off on the casting announcements.
I know they've definitely started production because Ariana Grande's pretty consistent about posting little hints here and there. So there's definitely been some practice.
Yeah. Well, I know her and Cynthia Erivo are rehearsing. But I know they don't start filming until I think it's November. Which I'm like, that's such a fast turnaround to get a movie ready to go for production. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. Either way. So we're now in the opening. If you didn't know, some of these shots were actually shot night for day, which means Amanda Seyfried is walking around in the sunlight and then they throw on a blue hue and drop the lighting on the scene and then it magically becomes evening. So some of these shots are filmed night for day. And apparently, according to ABBA, this is one of their tougher songs to sing because of the vocal jumps you have to do. And it's all a cappella, so you have to be able to hit it note perfect on your own. So, there we go. Harry Bright, Colin Firth, there we go. So, I'm so glad we got an overture, because typically they cut the overture for movie musicals. We don't get an overture, so we have an adapted version of the overture, which is a great set to a montage of the potential three dads.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's Mr. Colin Firth. And then we got Bill Anderson, played by Stellan Skarsgård, who is Swedish, just like ABBA. So there you go.
Everything ties together somewhere.
It does. Somehow. It does. And then, of course, Pierce Brosnan's the cool guy in jeans and the sports coat. It's he's got to be the coolest looking one of them all.
Oh, yeah.
But I also just question them where it's like, you get an invitation from somebody you haven't spoken to in years about a wedding. It's like,
and they're like, you know what? Yeah, this is fine. This is totally fine.
So there we go. And we get the title, Mamma Mia. Oh, and then we have the three friends. This is Jessica and I when we see each other in the city for a show after we haven't seen each other in like a hot minute.
For literally anything. Yeah, exactly. Mackenzie and I do this exact same bit. We do this whole dance and everything.
It's true.
You don't get to see it ever because it's just for us.
It's just for us. It's just for us.
Just for us.
I know. So Jessica, they're showing off their rings. So let's see your ring. Can we see the ring?
No, this old thing, no one wants to see it.
Oh, absolutely we do. Woo! Love that. Love that. So is this a movie you watch with your mom, Jessica? Is this like one of your go-to Sue and Jessica Maxwell movies?
I don't know if it's our go-to movie, but we did see it in theaters together and we saw the musical together.
Nice.
The stage production, so.
Love that.
It's the journal.
It's the journal, the sex journal. Which, once again, it's very uncomfortable if you're thinking to be reading your mom's dirty diary.
I mean, she probably saw, does not explicitly say sex journal.
Well, they infer what dot means. Very repeatable.
It very much says diary on it.
Yeah.
So she probably saw it and was like, oh, my mom's diary from like when she was my age. Let me just like flip through it, and then happened to come across July 17th. What a night. This escalated quickly.
I will say the song has a very good vamp.
Yeah.
And I will say I like Amanda Seyfried singing in this versus Les Mis. Because
yeah, I mean, I kind of liked her singing in Les Mis.
I didn't mind it, but once again, she's not a trained, like, classic soprano, which is what Cosette is. Cosette is a classic trained soprano, and it's one of the things. If you listen to somebody like a Judy Kuhn or a Rebecca Kane, who also played Christine in Phantom in Toronto, when they go up to their high notes, they're not breathy and high vibrato. They can do straight tone notes and make that high singing sound really good. She always had like a bit of she always sounded uncomfortable singing that high compared to this, where she's in her chest voice. And it sounds a bit more natural to her. Yeah,
and this is also like more pop rock music, right?
Yeah.
So that's like totally different.
Very different.
Like aside from the arrangements, like this is like a totally different genre in comparison.
Exactly. That bastard Sam. He was engaged the whole time. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Little Island. So my bet is actually that it's Bill, because the movie pretty explicitly says that Bill's the dad, because she's named after his grandmother, where Donna gets the money from to start the villa. So this movie kind of explicitly says who her dad is, even though there's no paternity test. They choose to all be her dads. Spoiler alert for the ending. Oh,
Mackenzie.
There's Meryl Streep, not in ghost form, like she is in the sequel.
Not in ghost form.
This scene was in the trailer all the time. Aha. J. Maxwell. Can you turn your volume down just a smidgen on the video? Because the feedback, because we're off by like 2 seconds.
Oh, God.
So I'm getting like the oohs, like double oohing, and I'm like, where does that double ooh come from? There we go. That's better. Thank you. So now what's funny is, you don't realize till later, but Tanya and Rosie are on that boat that just left the port because for their first scene is on the boat together.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some secret little info there too. Amanda Seyfried's so cute in this role. Like just the giddiness she has. Like this role is perfect for her.
Yeah.
And she does look like Meryl Streep's daughter.
Yeah.
I was surprised to learn, if you saw our fun fact this week, that Michelle Pfeiffer and Olivia Newton-John were both up for the role of Donna before Meryl Streep got it.
I saw your post about that. That's really interesting.
I would have really loved to see Olivia Newton-John try this role.
Yeah, I think that would have been interesting.
Definitely a different sound in the singing.
Yeah. I love hearing those tidbits of like, who was almost cast in this role?
Well, apparently they had another Rosie cast, but then she dropped out. After the role was described as the short, fat friend. She was like, hey, I'm not doing that part.
Yeah, that's not a great way to describe a role.
No. So instead they got Julie Walters, who is terrific, and we forget that at this time she was best known as Mrs. Weasley in Harry Potter, because Harry Potter was still ongoing. He's so cool. See? They're on the boat, so right there. Oop. Hello. We're getting something going on here. All right, we're live. So we're still live, I think.
Says we're on the air.
Yes. Apparently, due to a copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Gasp.
Ooh.
After copyrighted material is no longer being streamed. So I guess we'll have to hide the stream, even though we're not showing any sound.
Apparently that doesn't matter.
There we go.
Sorry, viewers.
I know, but Jessica and I can still hear it though.
That's what matters for us.
Exactly.
Sorry to everybody else.
Aw, Scott. He's such a good guy. And it's Dominic Cooper, who's gone on to have a lot of great film success.
Yep.
Both in Marvel, outside of Marvel. He's done a lot of stuff Is that how Dan wants to have your wedding, Jessica? Washed down with a bucket of beer?
No.
Good. Is Jim going to be the ring bearer? I hope Jim is the ring bearer.
We were discussing it. Though we would have to get a pet wrangler, but...
I volunteer as pet wrangler.
Okay, he can be a little squirmy, though.
I'm happy to, like, hold on to
This is my cat we're talking about, by the way.
I'm sure people thought it was a human. When she meets her dad. Oh, how naive you are, child.
Knowing your dad isn't going to fix everything. It would be nice.
These three guys have such great chemistry, the three of them. Like,
they do.
Like, this whole movie, like, the three pairings, like, you have Sophie and her friends, Donna and her friends, and then the three dads. Mm-hmm. All three of the groupings had really good chemistry together. Mm-hmm. And that's rare that you get three different sets of groups all really mixing well and having a really good chemistry with one another. Meryl Streep should have got an Oscar nom for this.
This is also how Mackenzie and I act when we run into each other.
See, that's good that they kept that plot point in from the musical. Is Tanya's being married multiple times.
Yeah.
The only line they cut, and I'm pretty sure they cut it, is the whole line about what Tanya's dad used to say to her every time he walked her down the aisle, which is, "Don't worry, honey, we'll get you a good lawyer." This is a new stuff. They added in a bit more backstory to Rosie that isn't in the stage show. That she's like a cookbook author. Little hermit over here. So good, the three of them. And also Christine Baranski, big Broadway actress. People forget that she's like big on Broadway.
Yes.
She's done a lot of Broadway shows.
Is in Chicago as well.
Yes, she is in Chicago.
Mary Sunshine.
Yes, she is. So we'll be seeing her again.
Yep.
She was in Into the Woods as the stepmother.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Maybe that'll be another live stream we'll do. With Meryl Streep as well.
Yes.
As the witch.
Right. That's right.
This is the only sad thing is they cut Tanya's subplot of her getting accosted by barman Pepper. Because then the whole joke is once Pepper gets in your nose, it never leaves. So he keeps trying to flirt with her, and they kept their song that they have in the show where she's telling him off, but they never give us any good lead up to why she's telling him off. So that's the one thing about the movie where I was like, I feel there was more here with that character. They cut a lot of that out, which is too bad.
The problem I have with some of these transitions from musicals to movies is some of those things get cut or they get missing. Yeah. Like in Rent, all of the musical dialogue got transferred to speaking parts, which was like kind of comical. You knew that it was originally songs, but at the same time, it's like, oh, or like some songs would be cut and be like, oh, this could have been really good on screen. So,
speaking of Rent, Jessica, are we going to be going to Stratford next summer to force me to see the stage production?
Well, I wouldn't force you into anything you wouldn't want to see. But, I mean, if you want to go, wouldn't be mad about it.
As long as you can go see Spamalot at the same time. We can do a double feature.
I would love to see Spamalot again. That one was hilarious.
So maybe you and I will do a venture to Stratford to do a musical day.
Musical day. That would be awesome.
I will say this film has great coloring.
Beautiful coloring.
Like the way they just make everything just pop and be so colorful.
Oh, yeah.
It's stunning.
Yeah. And it like all of it just gives off like this summery vibe. It's great.
Yeah. And the fact that we're all in the Greek white and blue colors.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah.
I love how like this is like a plot point that like wouldn't happen today is Sky is designing a website and that's a big deal for this villa. It's like nowadays you'd have the Instagram, the Twitter, the website.
What was I watching the other day that made something similar? Oh, I was watching 6 Feet Under. And one of the character in the episode I was watching made a joke about, oh, what, you're gonna drive around in your fancy electric vehicle? Like, oh, you don't even know.
Oh, Meryl Streep. This was my favorite song growing up as a kid. This was my favorite song from the musical.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This was a song I replayed repeatedly on the CD. People forget, like, Meryl Streep, nobody ever really heard her sing. Like, she did Juilliard, where she did do some singing, but I was like, can Meryl Streep sing? It's like, well, of course she can. She's Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, she could do anything.
Yeah.
She sing the phone book, I'd listen to it.
I also like how this musical, or this movie version of the musical, did a really good job building up the ensemble, where there's very familiar faces that keep showing up. Like, there's one lady you'll see who is always there in the ensemble. So when I see her, I'll point her out to you. Like, the guy with the mustache, he's always there. He's always doing something throughout the movie. Oh, okay, here we go. Hold on, I'll point her out to you. There, the lady kind of like the gold flowery dress with short brown hair. She's always in the camera shot, and she's hysterical. You just follow her character throughout it. She's always around.
Cool.
Mind you, that only comes from watching this movie so many times that you start watching the background performers.
Oh, I know.
And this is rare to see in modern day movie musicals. It's like the dream sequence.
Yeah.
We never really do that because we're always so hyper realistic about the musical that we're like, we'll never ever see a dream sequence. But this is great to see that they go into this kind of fantasy. And there's other moments that are very hyper realistic, like I'm slipping through my fingers. Or Winner Takes It All. That's hyper realistic. See, watch her. She's right there in the yellow.
Yeah.
She's always around. Just watch her face. It's hysterical. Money, money, money. Must be sunny in a rich man's world. Apparently, they actually did sing live quite a bit on set. And apparently a lot of the vocals are a mix of recorded and live singing.
Ooh.
They won't say which parts are which.
No, they never would.
No. This is another new plot point. It is the water fountain underneath. The spring, Aphrodite spring. That's a new element to the story as well. Here they all come. The three amigos. Apparently, they just gave Julie Walters a suitcase and said, just improvise and start picking stuff out.
Oh, that's the best.
That's an improv. The donkey testicles. That's an improv line. Here we go. The amount of girls I saw wearing this type of shirt after this movie, like they made a cipher blue and white, kind of flowing at the bottom design. That's come back into style now.
Has it?
I've seen quite a few people wearing it. Jess is like, I don't know, Matt. I mean, I like the fact that you're wearing the blue and white tonight.
Yeah, unintentional. But maybe that was just a subconscious thing. You have some blue, but...
I do have some blue, but I don't have any white. I just have blue and yellow tonight. This is great. Once again, like the fact they built all the set, and it feels like such a lived-in environment. It's great.
It really does.
And then once again, the three of them all have such great personalities where you see, like, Bill is right in there as the travel author. He's, like, ready to go on an adventure. Harry's like, no, I want to freshen up. I want to be good. And then Sam's kind of in the middle. Like, he's like, I know this reunion is not going to be a good experience for us.
Yeah.
I would pay to see these three actresses plus a fourth doing Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah.
They would be so good. People forget the Golden Girls are always supposed to be in their late 50s, early 60s. Everybody's like, they're so old. I'm like, no, they're not. It's just, we've changed our views on things. Like, the fact that Sex and the City, the revivals, they're supposed to be the same age as the Golden Girls. But you never know that. Because of the amount of Botox and everything else going on in that show. I would admit, if I was led to this space, I would be pretty pissed too. I'd be like, this is a room.
I would be concerned. I'm like, where are we going? So I went to an Airbnb that was designed like a tree house, so it's not...
Was this in Chicago?
No, this was in like Minden area. So north of here. Very north of here.
Got you. This would be where I go, I'm out. Like, the sad thing is like, Pierce Brosnan's a very good actor in this. And his character has the most dramatic weight that has to be pulled in the show.
Yeah.
But the tragedy is that he's not the best singer, and he admits it too. He's like, yeah, I didn't know I'd have to sing in this movie. I just signed on because I was told I'd be shooting in Greece with Meryl Streep.
With Meryl Streep.
And I was like, happy with that.
Go wrong.
Exactly. Then he goes to the station and goes, oh, crap. I have to sing multiple songs?
Oh, it's a musical.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's called Mamma Mia the movie, so if you didn't know it was a musical, you wouldn't know until somebody showed you a trailer.
But I don't know. I would have tried to put 2 and 2 together because Mamma Mia was a stage production.
It was
a very established stage production at this point. That was definitely playing in New York and London.
Yes. And then Meryl Streep singing one of the cut songs from the musical. She's humming one of the cut songs as she's coming into
that?
I forget what it's called. It made my top 3 of songs that either would cut or skip an episode. That I was happy we didn't
matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. This is great, this vampire. I remember being in theaters and people laughed out loud when they showed the flashback of the guys. Everybody laughed really hard when they saw this. Like, especially the Colin Firth one.
As the rock star. You know what's so funny is he was in What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes.
Right.
And it's very similar. Like, in that movie, he plays like a prospective prime minister.
Right.
And the relationship that he had with Amanda Bynes' mom's character, like, he was like this kind of like hippie rock star guy too.
Now we're into this big song.
Oh, yeah. Into the title.
I love the goat. One looking, I can hear a bell ring. See, I would love to go see the stage show of this again if it ever came on tour. I would totally go and do that. Like, I'm surprised since COVID's now, since COVID, we have not had a revival of this show start touring at least. Like, I know it left Broadway recently.
Well, did it not also, was it not also off Broadway? Because I remember
I don't think it was ever off Broadway. It was always on Broadway.
No, well, it moved theaters then because
it moved away from the Winter Garden to another Broadway house.
Yeah, but it was a much smaller theater.
It was a much smaller house.
So I thought when it left the Winter Garden, that was when it left Broadway, and when it went to the smaller one, it was off Broadway. But I guess
maybe
that would make sense because it's still technically a Broadway theater where it moved to.
Yeah. Well, it left Winter Garden because they had Rocky coming in. That was it was Rocky that was coming that kicked Mamma Mia out.
Right. So maybe
people were very upset about that. Just one and I can hear a bell ring. This is also a great adaptation of this song because if you watch the stage show, it's it's her being frozen in time. Like, she's seen all 3 of the guys and they're all kind of frozen on stage, and this is all happening in her head. Mm-hmm. So it's quite a good way to reinterpret the song where she's trying to sneak peeks at them the whole time. And then the question is the Greek chorus here real, or are they imaginary? Are they all in her head? That she's just imagining people?
I'd like to imagine that they're all there.
I like to think so too. Juilliard actress here with she's so naturalistic in this role. Mm-hmm. Great camera work on this, whip pan to all the different men.
Yeah.
Way to drop the ball there, Sam. I dropped in to say hi. Strangers? This is a great scene study. If you want to track her emotions throughout the scene, different tactics she's using, it's really good. Maybe she said we couldn't stay in the old goat house. Spontaneous. I would love to play Bill. That'd be my character I'd love to play in Mamma Mia is Bill.
Yeah.
That's always the role. I'm like, if I could play any of the 3 dads, it would be Bill. And we actually missed a song here, which is Thank You for the Music. So they cut that song.
Oh yeah. Was that not used in the second one though?
It is used in the second one.
Yeah.
It is used in the second one, but so here's Pepper. So they kind of set up a relationship between the 2 of them, but not really. They could have gone a bit more into that. Mm. This is great, the song coming up, Chiquitita. Mm. This made my top 3 songs when we were doing the episode. Tanya, the drink. Once again, just the natural comedy all these actors have is really great.
And like nothing feels forced.
No. This is good. This got a big laugh in the theater too. When we do the pan away from them. Christine Baranski killing it with the acapella.
Yep. The eye roll.
Yeah. This is really funny. Julie Walters killing it. I should say, this is great. This is like if you lived in a real musical. You'd be singing your own song, but like nobody would see it. And then it goes into the real. And I love how the camera turns. Like the song actually transitioned into like a real emotional song.
Yeah.
And I love this song. This is a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it is. I always love watching like musicals in an instance like this where it's like these are already established songs and seeing how they can be paired in with and like with a unique storyline. I always find that super, super interesting.
Right? Well, I mean, Mamma Mia kind of created the mold for the jukebox musical that takes existing songs and then makes it into a separate story that has no relation to the artists.
Yeah.
That was a big deal when they were making the musical. Was we don't want to do a ABBA biopic musical.
Yeah.
We want to take the music from ABBA and work it into a story because the lyrics are so storytelling that you can easily rearrange them. Like, who would have thought a song called Chiquitita would actually work as like a pick-me-up for two friends to their third friend?
Yeah, and if you're just smart, like with the arrangements and everything, and like it's totally doable. Like I think it's similar to Green Day's American Idiot. Like those were established songs on their own, and then when it moved to a musical that needed to be centered around this storyline, it was like, how are these songs going to fit into a fictional story? Yeah, and then it works. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, Chiquitita. See, I was sad they never included this song on the album. Like it was never included on the CD. It's not? No. You go from Mamma Mia right into Dancing Queen. No. And it's smart once again when you're adapting from stage to screen. Both these songs take place in Donna's bedroom. And so it was smart that they once again when you're adapting a serial from stage to screen, you often have to try and open the world to new settings, new environments, because you have the ability to, that you don't have in a stage show. So the fact that they were able to do this with that song was really great. And once again, the prop comedy between Christine Baranski and Dame Julie Walters was just terrific. They're all in the basket. That's great. Once again, the great little subtle comedy in this is really funny. Yeah. I will say, growing up, when I saw the stage show, I never caught the whole plot that Harry's gay. Because I don't remember them doing much. I don't remember remembering that in the stage show. So I remember when I saw the movie, I was like, oh! Because I always thought, because at the end during Waterloo, Harry and Tanya are the ones that wear the matching outfits. So I was like, oh, Harry ends up with Tanya. That's why she doesn't like Pepper. But it's no, Harry's gay. So another beautiful set in this bedroom. Cool with it. Aw. Would it though? And yet they're creating real stakes. Like if you really were a parent and your 3 exes all show up on the island, and one of them is your daughter's dad. Like, yes, it's funny to us on the outside, but it actually is a really truthful thing of, hold on, the stakes would be very real and the tension would be real. So it's interesting how they balance that of the comedy for the audience, but the sincere terror and authentic scariness of it for the actor. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Dancing Queen. You can die having the time of your life. So when I worked up north for Camp with Kids with Special Needs, we had an older girls' cabin, and they loved ABBA. So every Friday at our dance party, Dancing Queen was always a very big hit. Their music's just so much fun.
It is. Well, I mean, so my family and I, we recently went and saw the Candlelight concerts with the string orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
And we did film music. But the other backup choice was ABBA. Yeah. Because I'm like, everybody knows the ABBA songs. Yeah, yeah. I would still go back and see the ABBA. Yeah. Christine Baranski. Like, this is straight out of the stage show with them playing with all the props again.
Yeah.
Like it's not as easy as you think it is to be improving on the spot with all these different costume pieces. And what people don't know is, during the scene, Julie Walters twisted her ankle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why if you're going to see in some of the long shots of them dancing down the road, they have her wearing that headpiece so it can actually hide her face. So her stunt double can do some of really did do the splits on the bed. That was just a party trick she could do. Tanya. This got a big laugh in the theaters. Julie Walters going down the stairs. The amount of people who laughed at that joke, like, this just looks like so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And just the smart choice to bring it out into the world once again. Get everybody involved. It's great. This mustache guy is so funny. He's in, like, all their fantasies. Anyone with you? Mood for a dance. That's dangerous. Big vamp, here we go. See, there you go. So you see Julie Walters dancing down the road. She's got the headpiece so they can hide her face. So only in the close-up she'd have to move. Yeah, so like this big wide shot, that's not Julie Walters. Also, why is the guy riding the donkey and the woman is carrying the sticks? That is not appropriate, sir. That is not gentlemanly. Here we go, to the dock. Then, of course, you got the ABBA cameo coming up.
There's an ABBA cameo?
Yeah, right there. On
really?
The boat. That's him. On the piano on the boat.
How did I not see that?
Yeah. Meryl Streep said this was a lot of fun to do on the dock with all the other women.
What part of this movie wouldn't be fun to do?
True.
Like, even the ballads.
Yeah. I think now where Jessica's doing her honeymoon. Greece.
I mean, I'd love to. But if I go to Greece and everyone is not dancing around and singing ABBA songs, then I'm taking a plane back.
So apparently there was a talk on set between Meryl Streep and Philip, the director, which was, do we tell Christine Baranski and Julie Walters that we're going to push them in, or do we not and get their genuine reaction? But that they felt, no, we should tell them because we could get a really bad reaction from them.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a lot to reset.
Yeah. I
will say Amanda Seyfried was one of my teenage crushes back in the day.
I've always loved her ever since Mean Girls.
I was about to say, everybody knows her from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Apparently she's not a big fan of that movie.
I know she had like spoken out recently about some of the scenes that she's done. That she was asked about, but like she plays such a great ditzy blonde. And I want to say I had read that she had wanted to play Regina or something. Yeah, she auditioned for Regina, but they cast her as Karen, right? Yeah. With the backwards K. Yeah. No, she's so good in it. And have you watched The Dropout yet? No, I keep hearing it's good though. It's so good. She's really great in it. Okay, I have to look it up. So see, I get why they cut Thank You for the Music because they have this song. Yeah. Instead. I love this one. It's a very good song. Mm-hmm. And Colin Firth actually is not a bad singer. And apparently his joke is, my only hope is that when I get to the gates of heaven one day, the angels and God will tell me, you did good in Mamma Mia. I'm like, oh, Colin Firth. But I mean, he's always been kind of like the heartthrob guy. And everybody kind of underestimates him because he was Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. He was, who's the name for Bridget Jones? Oh, yeah. Mark? Is it Mark? Yeah. He was Mark in Bridget Jones. I forget his character's name. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, there's Pierce Brosnan singing. I'd say out of the three of them, Colin Firth has the best vocals. You think? I would say so. Because that's just, Pierce. I mean, A for effort, right? A for effort. I will give it to Pierce. He sells it. Just, would I pay to see him in concert or like in a Broadway show? No. But I pay to see Colin Firth do a show. Yeah. Because like his singing actually isn't bad. No, it's not. And typically the song is sung in Act 2 of the show. Yeah. And it's between Donna and Harry. Because basically Act 2, like a third of Act 2 is just all three guys coming to Donna's room talking to her. Mm-hmm. And I think that scene could have been nice too, but I like this better.
I like this one too, because it's a connecting piece, right?
Yeah, like
between Sophie and her potential three dads.
Yeah, and like Donna's not saying anything to Sophie, like and so this is kind of her way of being like, tell me about your thing with my mom.
Yeah. Stella! It's a promise. Then, of course, we cut back to Donna and Harry, which is a great kind of tie that they're both looking at the pictures. And now we get the flipper dance song.
Yeah, which
I was never a fan of it.
I don't mind the song. The flipper choreography is very interesting.
Well, that's right from the stage show. The stage show has the flipper dance too.
I know, but it's an interesting choice.
It is a very interesting choice.
It reminds me of Whipped into Shape from Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Where they dance with the jump rope. It's like, what's like some type of extreme that we can add to an already like having to sing and dance on top of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Jealous before we met. Remember that I see is a potential threat. I forget who else they were looking at for this role. There was a few other like Zac Efron, teen heartthrobby guys at the time. But they went with Dominic Cooper because he was a bit older than some of the other guys they were looking at.
I think that's smart, though. Yeah. I wouldn't want to see, like, a teen heartthrob in that.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't fit this.
Yeah. Because there is a maturity to Sky. Like, he knows what he wants. And that's something people miss is that he settled down when he wasn't really wanting to settle. But because he likes Sophie, he settles down.
Yeah. And, like, they're obviously meant to be young. Are their ages explicitly said in this? I don't think so, right?
I thought they were, like, early 20s. And that's part of the problem with Donna is that, like, Sophie hasn't gone off the island to go see the world. Because she's always been with her mom. And now she's jumping into marriage and settling down. And Donna's kind of like...
Live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, like, casting someone who would typically fall under the teen heartthrob umbrella, a la Zac Efron, would have been a little dicey. Or, well, not dicey, but, like, it might have missed the mark a little bit.
Here we go. Also, the Sea-Doo routine that he does is very, like, mid-2000s music video.
The what routine?
You'll see him where he goes on the Sea-Doo, and is riding on the Sea-Doo.
Oh.
That's so, like, mid-2000s routine.
Filmed a music video in Miami type.
Yeah. Here we go. Sting your emotions. I mean, I tried doing the flipper dance when I was a kid on our dock. It didn't go well. Mac fell in the water very easily. See this, the Sea-Doo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So bad. This is fun, though, the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
So they did sing this live on set.
This is great.
Play the song. Once again, Meryl Streep and Tanya and Rosie all have really good harmony.
Yep.
And the costumes. Oh my goodness.
I was just going to say the costumes are great.
Yes.
I love Meryl's art pieces.
Right? It's like, can we bring this back into fashion? Or at least some version of it, like the big sleeve, maybe. Maybe not the
some of it's like, coming
maybe
back.
Not the feather or like our like shoulder pads. But the art things, like Donna's got the best costume of the three of them.
Yeah.
Then it's like you watch this and it's like, okay, I actually could see these three actresses like in their younger days doing this in like bars as like their band.
Yeah.
Like they have really good connection with one another on stage. And those are hard to dance in. That's the one thing they said was trying to dance in those platform shoes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Is like terrifying apparently. And I love the detail on Meryl's costume with the heart. Right? Yeah, she actually has a good singing voice. Like she has good sound to it. Oh, look at the sleeves go. Shoop-ba-ba, shoop-ba-ba. I remember seeing this in choir. And the guy's just doing the shoop-ba-ba, shoop-ba-ba. And the fact that they like do close-ups on these boots just to show like how difficult they are to move in. And to show the audience like, yeah, all the actors are wearing the boots.
Yep.
See, then it gets weird because now all the girls go after Sophie's dads.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is icky. Rosie makes a good point. Like, how can they be supportive of you when you never told your ex-partner that there was a child? Their point.
Yeah.
Now we're getting weird. Like, why are we doing this and tying them up? Like, this is just weird. This is just creepy. No, thank you. I do love the way they're able to use these scenes and like intercut them. Like, once again, that's really good cinematic use of the film compared to a stage show. And the fact they're still keeping the mystery alive of who is Sophie's dad because she can draw really well, like Sam. Does that make Sam her dad? But she's named after Bill, the same lady as Bill's grandmother. So does that make them potential? So I think that's why they took out, because there's a song coming up called What's the Name of the Game? Which in the stage show is kind of meant to be, hey, Bill's the dad. We're basically solidifying telling you this. This is it. And so the fact they took that song out, to me, says that they were really trying to keep it a mystery and not tell the audience who is the dad. Which I think is a smart choice.
Gotta keep them interested.
It's true. Because made my feet bigger. Fishing. Baranski would make such a great Blanche in Golden Girls. with the whole, what do you do with three men? Well, that takes me back. That's such a Blanche line from Golden Girls. Are you Harry? Are you fine? Also, do they only ever make one drink at the bar? That same like fruity drink? Because like Tanya's drunk it, Harry's drunk in it. Like
maybe it's symbolic of something. I don't know what.
I don't know. Where's Jim tonight, Jessica?
I always like this song. It was Great Aunt Sophia.
Yeah, it's Great Aunt Sophia. See, like different proof for different people.
I always heard her money was left to family. I'm 20. Huh.
Okay, so they do tell her age.
Yeah.
So she's 20. So Sky's
and
probably
that scene is now a popular TikTok audio. How old are you? I'm 20.
So this is where that song would go. What's the name of the game? Where basically they confirm Bill is the dad. This moment right here. And it is a deleted scene you can get on the DVD. Ooh. Because they filmed it. Are my sound levels okay? Can you hear me okay, J. Maxwell?
I can hear you crystal clear.
Perfect. Not a good move, Sophie. Like, you're like, what's it? But she's a 20-year-old. She's not making all the most logical decisions. So while you're sitting there just going, oh, girl. No.
Oh, girl, no. You don't have to do that.
The boys are ready to party. Also, I will say that as Sophie, I would not be impressed with like my groom swinging in on a rope, because my friend was doing roof work before his wedding. He fell off the roof and twisted his ankle.
Oh God.
So not overly happy with him. The fact that he was like able to walk, but like not stand for like super long and like dance really hard. So they had a shorter first dance.
Jeez.
So tell Jim no swinging on ropes. Or sorry, tell Dan no swinging on ropes. And I mean Jim too. Jim should not swing on ropes.
I will also tell Jim the cat to not swing on any ropes.
But yes, tell Dan no roof work and no rope swimming before a wedding.
Well, he does construction, so he might have some roof work, but
well, as long as he's tied off right.
Make sure he's harnessed in. I also want to know, how big is this wedding? She seems to have a massive bachelorette party and a massive, just a massive bachelorette party, and like he maybe like those can't all
you're right,
also
because
be
when we get to the wedding, only what's her names, the two best friends, are standing up with her. So I guess these are like all her school friends or just friends on the island who are out partying with her.
I wonder how this is gonna be a real small island. I feel like everyone just knows everybody.
Oh, it's such a small island. This is great too, building this tension throughout the song. And this is something you can't really do on stage, which is all these little interpersonal dynamics.
Sometimes you can do it though, where if it'll sometimes be done where it's like this big ensemble thing and the ensemble kind of like fade out a little, and then there's like a little bit of talking bit. There's still stuff going on in the back, kind of like in Dancing Through Life.
True.
It's like here's this big.
But I feel it's more effective here to go get that claustrophobic energy. You
absolutely feel it here
for the character. Like it's really coming through strong here, and just the choice to do the Greek dance circles.
Yeah, and it's
very
like
smart.
Doing something like that, then it's like, okay, now I feel like really trapped.
Yeah. And the fact that you're able to shoot people through different slots.
Yeah.
And typically, this would be where the intermission happens. Sophie faints at the bachelorette party, and then it cuts to black, and then there's the Nightmare song. And that opens Act 2. I forget what that song is. But they cut it here. It's not in the movie.
We won't be taking an intermission.
We will not. This is fun with Christine Baranski waking up.
Oh, I like that it mirrored, though, with Sophie's friends.
Right? Water sports. Testicles. This got a big laugh in the theater. A lot of Julie Walters stuff got a big laugh. Like, she did a really good job with the comedy in this with her kids.
Yeah, she's got great comedy in this.
Yeah. Just the fall off the dinghy.
So good.
So here's something. So apparently only Bill Skarsgård and the director knew that he was going to be nude under that apron. He didn't tell anybody else on set. So he turns around and flashes Julie Walters' character. She had no idea that was coming.
That's an authentic reaction. That's awesome.
It is a full-on authentic reaction.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So once again, like, this great double speaking is really kind of classic sitcom energy. Really well done. And then, of course, Julie Walters thinks it's something about Sophie and her dad. Harry's talking about Bill and Rosie. I think Harry's talking about Harry and Sophie.
Yeah.
So great. Like, just all the double talk. It's very Shakespearean comedy.
It is, actually.
All this misinterpretation.
Yeah.
Stellan Skarsgård has neither confirmed nor denied that on his butt cheeks are 2 eye tattoos. Now, this is a scene I remember a lot from the stage show. Was the whole line of, like, you didn't get me or you just had the baby thing. I remember that line from the stage show. For some reason, that line's always been like, oh, yes. Oh, Meryl Streep's trying to be supportive, but it comes across as, like, really condescending.
I just can't believe it's taken them this long to, like, have a discussion about it.
Right? Like, that's the other thing, too.
This is just, like, just don't want to deal with any confrontation at all.
Yeah, this argument I remember very specifically from the stage show. For some reason, I think I was 8 or 9 when I went and saw this, because my friend's grandmother had tickets.
Oh, yeah. And
her friend couldn't make it, so they were like, oh, here, Sam, you're already going. Why don't you bring your friend who likes theater along? And Mamma Mia was kind of like my first non-Les Mis. Lion King and then Mamma Mia. Those are like the 2 first like non-Les Mis-y shows I saw on stage.
Les Mis-y. I remember. I remember seeing The Lion King when I was a kid in Toronto, and down the street, Mamma Mia was playing, and so I had heard about it. That's right, and so I had heard about it, but I didn't like know what it was, and I asked my mom. Like after we saw The Lion King, I'm pretty sure I asked my mom if we could go, and she was like, "I think that's like for an older age group."
These two had great dramatic chemistry. Meryl Streep and Pierce Brosnan. Like, people forget Pierce Brosnan do like really good dramatic stuff. I can handle my own disasters. Just gonna post our link to Facebook so people can tune in and join us. Woo! We're gonna get some good views here, but we can get a few more. Come join the conversation, friends and family.
And let people know they can ask questions too.
It is true. If you have a question, please submit a question. Sue, if you're watching, please submit us a question. Say hi. I'll give you a shout out,
I
Sue.
told her to watch. I told her this was happening tonight.
Come on, Sue. Where are you? Free, and she's single. Oh, here we go, Pierce.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, everybody, let's get into this. So, Pierce Brosnan singing. Jessica, what are your thoughts on it? Is he a good singer? Do you prefer him to Russell Crowe?
I don't know.
If you had to pay money to see one of them in concert, and you have to do it, which one would you prefer?
Probably Russell Crowe.
I would say the same thing.
I know
if you watch him in other YouTube videos, he's had a band for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, he just got bad singing advice on Les Mis.
Maybe it's just the same situation that Amanda Seyfried was in.
Probably.
It's hard to do some, like, those traditional theatrical.
And the tragic part is that Meryl Streep, because she actually is a good singer, and you put her up against Pierce Brosnan comes out looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah.
Compared to Meryl Streep. It really elevates her and her vocals and kind of hurts him in a way.
I wonder if, like, if there was ever a discussion to just, like, have someone else sing.
Okay, so this is something I get into all the time with people is, I would love for them to bring back vocal dubbing in movie musicals. Because they did that all the time back in the day. Like, Audrey Hepburn didn't sing in My Fair Lady. Natalie Wood didn't sing in West Side Story. Deborah Carr didn't sing in King and I.
Right.
Unless you were Christopher Plummer did not sing in Sound of Music. Like, that was something very common. That unless you were somebody like a Julie Andrews or a Yul Brynner who had the vocal stamina to do it.
Right. Well,
you didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou a few weeks ago, and George Clooney does not sing in that, but like,
no,
he's got good enough acting that it's like you think it's believable. So Pierce Brosnan's a good actor. So pair it with someone who like
can sing
potentially match with. Like.
And I mean, the only thing I would say, because this is something that Hollywood didn't do back then when they were dubbing people, is they would never tell the audience that they were dubbed, and the actors and actresses who were the proper singers never got the proper credit. Like Marty Nixon did not get credit for doing Natalie Wood, Audrey Hepburn, and Deborah Carr till years later.
Right.
So that's the only thing I would say is, if you're going to dub them, be upfront and go, hey, ask Pierce Brosnan, but we have, I don't know, Colm Wilkinson being his vocal double for this.
Yeah, and then like the other problem too is that like people will figure it out and they ask them in the press questions and stuff like that, and then if it's just the one person not doing the singing, then that can be like, oh, like then why didn't you pull your weight like the other ones did? And that can be controversial, I guess.
Yeah. So now we get into Christine Baranski, and you can tell she's a Broadway singer.
Yes,
but she has the vocal strength to do it.
Is the very obvious Broadway singers that go in and do it versus like the traditional film actors.
Yeah, exactly. Like just that vocal jump she has to do to get into the chorus. And on top of that, she's dancing and singing on concrete that's covered in sand. Like, wow. Like one of the most uncomfortable ways to be singing.
Unless it's just something about Broadway actors versus film actors singing. Like, they're just so good at the facial cues and like, it's just so different.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing. Everybody goes, well, we can't cast Broadway actors in movie musicals because they don't know how to rein it in to sing on camera. And like, the majority of them do. And on top of that, that's something very easily to work around if the actor is good. That you can say, hey, too broad, bring it down. Yeah, and I think I look at Samantha Barks in Les Mis as Aphrodite. She was the strongest, if not the strongest performer, along with Aaron Tveit in that movie because both of them knew how to sing that score and how to manage themselves vocally. Yeah, and having very skilled theater backgrounds, like exactly. Another great song. Does Your Mother Know? Oh, such a good song. This is one of my favorites. And I love the background of the dance. And to do this on the beach is so great. So smart. This is such a great song in the show. But once again, because they haven't set up Tanya and Pepper as the kind of this dynamic between the two of them. Like, we get hints of it. Like, we saw them dancing a little bit together in the previous Voulez-Vous scene, but not to the extent where he's, like, repeatedly hitting on her and her saying, no, buzz off. I'm only your mother.
It seemed like the only interaction was at the beginning when she first showed up. So it doesn't build up to the same way that it could have. So instead, it's just like, oh, haha, yeah, we remember him from that scene earlier when he flirted with her once. So let's build an entire around it.
Exactly. This is so nice of Harry. Harry's such a good guy.
Yeah.
And this is funny that he runs away. Such a childish thing of, you have to catch me!
With the life vest on, too.
Yeah.
So good.
Here we go.
So much running.
All I think about is, like, Stella from, like, Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah.
Like, he does a lot of yelling after Sophie as she runs away to something else.
There's just a lot of running in this movie. Everyone's running on the beach, running in the corridors, running away from their problems.
Yeah, he would have stopped you. Not if you would have going into a wedding by not telling your partner, hey,
so listen, there are these three guys and they might be my dad and I'm going to invite them to my wedding, but like, I just didn't want to tell you.
Not a good move.
But like, don't worry about it. It doesn't affect you at all. Not a good move.
No, not at all. And it's an honest conflict that they're having now. Because he's like, I once again, not a good thing to say. I put my life on hold for. That's never a good partner thing to say.
Yeah, no. Especially,
but I get what he's saying, which is like, I changed my life. Like, we're settling down together when I really don't want to. Which kind of says, hey, there's some bigger conversations we need to have as a partnership.
Yeah. But to say, like, I put my life on hold for you. Relationships are about being together and living life together.
I'm sure you and Dan have never had this conversation.
No, we have not. Can safely say that.
Oh, poor Donna. Aww. I'll also say Amanda Seyfried's bathing suit is really cool.
Yeah.
That's a very cool design.
Yeah.
This is really sweet. This song always makes my mom cry coming up.
Is this Slipping Through My Fingers?
Yes.
Yeah.
This song makes my mom cry every time.
It's beautiful. It's a really great moment. This is another example of a song that was entirely separate, written on its own, but applies so well to the scene.
Exactly. Once again, like, you never would have thought this song would have worked this way.
No.
But it totally works.
Yeah.
It's like a mom watching her daughter.
Yeah.
Take a next big step in life. And Sue can sing it to you. This song made our top 3. Both Autumn and I had this as one of our top 3 songs.
Yeah, I would agree.
And Meryl Streep, once again, this is where her acting comes in. This and Winner Takes It All are really what sell Meryl Streep in this role. Is the fact that she's able to balance such the dramaticness of this song. And the fact that it's all done, like, as a voiceover. So once again, it plays into that whole, is she talking to herself? Is she singing this to herself? Like, as she's getting her daughter ready? Like, what is going on? Yeah. But it works, because you set up the fact that Donna can kind of go into these kind of dream or inner monologue thoughts. And something you don't see a lot of musicals because they're hyper real. Like, if this was done by, like, Tom Hooper and Les Misland, like, this would all be done in close-up.
Yeah.
On top of that, Meryl Streep would be singing it as if Sophie. But the fact that, like, it feels like there's moments where you feel like, oh, she's really saying something, and sometimes she's thinking this monologue.
I would say it's definitely a thinking, reflective monologue.
I think so, too.
Like, she's looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
And she could, like, maybe just sort of be singing it to herself, but, like, while also watching Sophie. Yeah. And I think it's just, like, this whole song is, like, such a reflective moment and reflective on the time that they had spent together. And like, the whole concept of, like, how time slips through our fingers and capture
and it's blue nail polish. Once again, the blue. These two have such great chemistry.
They really do.
So actually what made them laugh here is they started started playing Metallica music through the set speakers, and didn't tell you what was going to happen. and so they were improvising the picture looking, and then the directors gave a cue to the sound people to like start blasting Metallica, and that big raucous laugh they have is them genuinely reacting to the ridiculousness of the music.
Oh, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm. I also will say Sophie's dress in this is beautiful. Mm-hmm. The wedding dress that she does.
Yeah.
It's like very casual, but also very dressy.
Yeah.
Like
and
formal,
like how
but also casual.
Flowy. I feel like a lot of that is just like an ode to her island life, like living on the beach and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this is where people kind of underestimate Mamma Mia as a musical. Is the dramatic heart of this story is mother-daughter. Mm-hmm. And two people who are trying to get ready to transition through the next stage of their lives where they're not going to be together all the time. Because like Donna and Sophie have always been together as a unit. And now, like any single parent, it's going to the point where the child is now going to be leaving the nest, whether it's to go to college, university, or in this case, marriage. Which is a big kind of thing. So, I mean, I really do think people underestimate the dramatic heart of this movie. In musical in general, like everybody kind of goes, oh, it's fluffy, it's ABBA, it's fun, but I'm like, no, there actually is real heart in this piece, and real kind of stakes. I'm not sure if you wanted to ride a donkey on the day of my wedding. But mind you, it looks really cool. I mean, every time...
that's how they get around there, though.
True.
Or at least riding on a donkey is quite common.
Yeah, after this movie, this wedding venue, which is a real wedding venue on top of this mountain, has gone up in popularity tremendously to this day and is one of the most expensive wedding venues.
Oh, you can obviously.
Get. Here we go. Next big song. Meryl Streep's got two big songs back to back.
And both like ballad types too.
Yes.
She's great in this too. I love this song.
She is so good in this. Like this, once again, the dramatic power of this song, she seamlessly gets into the music as well. Is great.
Yeah.
But once again, I would say the heart of the movie, slipping through my fingers. This is more the big 11 o'clock number of the piece. Like, this is the dramatic power ballad of the show.
Yeah.
Apparently the one thing that the director said later on is, we never should have given Meryl Streep that red shawl, because trying to match it between shots, so it doesn't, because once again, they do different takes, or they're coming between different takes. And Meryl Streep, because she was just playing with the wind and the shawl wouldn't match up in the shots. So she goes, that's the one thing I'd recommend to any other directors. When you're doing scenes outside like that, don't do shawls, because they're one of the most trickiest props to ever have. Apparently Meryl Streep did sing this song live on set, every take. And they said this is where the real mix came in between audio and then on set vocals.
I feel like I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the season that will get Meryl Streep the Oscar nomination, because I forget who else was nominated this year in 2008. Let me see. Is that the year of the King's Speech? Let's see. Oscars. So it's the 81st Oscars for the films of 2008, and Best Picture that year was Slumdog Millionaire. Oh, this was the year of The Dark Knight for Milk. And Meryl Streep was nominated for Doubt, where she plays the nun, and Kate Winslet won for The Reader. So I guess Meryl Streep already had a dramatic role up for the Oscars. I guess they're like, it's a Mamma Mia. That's a good year. She had just come off Devil Wears Prada, and then she did Doubt and Mamma Mia. This was kind of Meryl Streep announcing to the world that, yes, I'm getting older as an actress, but I'm not going anywhere.
But I can still kick some butt.
Exactly.
I'm not at all surprised that there were no or if there were any nominations, there were few. I feel like this isn't. I always feel like the Oscars have a certain type of movie that gets nominated, and
this was
just more one musical movie, and I think it had mixed reviews when it came out. Did it not?
Some people just called it kind of frilly, they didn't take it seriously. Let's see, what is the Rotten Tomato?
I want to say I read it was 55% or something.
Let's see. You're right, 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is funny because it's one of the most like profitable movie musicals of all time. Okay,
well, and it's funny. It's funny too because now, like, I think with so much ABBA audio has been used on TikTok. It's like kind of gained a whole new level of popularity.
I love this one Rotten Tomatoes review that gave it 2 stars. Disgusting, awkward, and improbable. I guess it captures ABBA perfectly. Except the band demonstrated better acting abilities in their stage performances.
Disgusting.
Another one, 2.5 stars. A musical that isn't as fun as I thought it would be.
Yikes.
The one critic review says, legal definition of torture has been much aired in recent years, and I take Mamma Mia to be a useful contribution to that debate.
What? Oh, man. People take things so seriously. Let me just have a fun, silly little musical to watch.
Yeah. So I remember in the theaters watching this, and I got worried because typically in the stage show, this would be after Winner Takes It All is Take a Chance on Me. Because it's Rosie getting the final preparations done in the chapel pews.
Right.
And then they cut away from that and just went right to the wedding. So I was like, did they cut Take a Chance on Me, my other favorite song?
Yeah.
I hope at your wedding you have a tuba player play you down the aisle like in this.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. I'm sure Jim and Dan would love a tuba player.
Yeah, they would both love a tuba player.
Also, of course, Sky's not wearing any type of tie or anything, but has like an open shirt.
Yeah, I love
it.
It's giving like 70s.
Yeah. Not a good look, Sky. Not a good look. Put on a tie.
Love to see those wedding pictures.
Sure. Yeah. This is great. This is like a true Shakespearean like ending sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just like great comedy now. Stand up. Then all of them are going to sit right back down again.
No one wants a conversation.
We're all just here to sing a text.
Well, no, we're all just here to sing. No one wants a conversation. No one wants confrontation.
That comes from the trailer too. And I have slept with hundreds of men. That is correct, sir.
Yes.
I also like the cutaways to the priest as well. Just his confused look all the time. This is the weirdest wedding I've ever been to.
Yeah.
You came back? See, this is the problem, Sam. Never assume anything.
Nope.
It's called pick up a phone, sir.
Yep.
Not going to start a wedding. Marrying somebody to prove it. I don't know if that line's in the stage show, like the whole line of, you're the last girl I ever loved. Also, that cutaway of the old man making the sign of the cross, that was in the trailers a lot too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because it's like I have 3 dads. Oh, to this typically waiting 20 years for a dad and 3 come along. That was another big trailer line that showed up in a lot of the TV spots.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not sure what's with the coloring in this scene. Like, it seems to have gone very yellow all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's sunset on the mountain, but it's like,
well, yeah. Is it at
like gold thing for yellow?
Like, are they trying to do some kind of golden hour here?
I guess, but it's like extreme golden hour.
But it's, well, and very yellow though. Yeah. Most of the time, like, some golden hour will have like elements of orange and red hues, but
yeah, Pierce Brosnan. Here we go.
Yep.
Once again, I'm like, Sam, I appreciate your dedication, but I feel you may want to go on a date with her before you like commit to marriage.
Yeah, it's been like 20 years, and maybe then some.
Yeah, love the idea of her for 21 years, sir.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people change in time, known each other for over a decade, and we've changed over a decade. Can imagine what 20 years later. See, there's why you have a tuba player. Just for that boom, boom, boom. This is so great. Do I do. And of course you get the priest. They cut this song from the album too. It's on the Broadway album.
But this is just a quick song, isn't it?
It is a quick song, but even in the stage show, it's a quick song. They included that on the album.
Yeah, but that makes sense with Broadway cast recordings. They always seem to include like the shorter songs.
Right.
But you were the other one that they cut that you had mentioned earlier.
Oh,
Chiquitita.
well, what's the name of the game?
Oh, no. Chiquitita, right?
Yes, Chiquitita, they cut that one.
Yeah. Like that's a full
song.
song. They could have kept that one.
Yeah. It'd be like where I question the director a bit, because I'm like, oh, Pierce Brosnan singing is not the best. Why would you give him another solo song? Please give him like a duo or a trio.
Yeah. Please
why give him
support
like a
this
solo
man.
wedding speech song? Like, I will admit, this song was added into the movie. They cut another one of like the wedding songs, and I actually do like this one. Like this song itself, I like. Pierce Brosnan not so much singing it, but this is actually a really beautiful song when all is said and done. Like, he just looks in pain singing.
A for effort. That's all I have to say.
I will give him A for effort. Once again, as Autumn says, because this is like a musical comedy where singing isn't key, Pierce Brosnan gets away with it a bit more than, say, Russell Crowe, who has a dramatic performance in Javert, where
that's a
good
good point.
And it's like a full musical movie, like
that's
no talking.
I feel like that could be said about just about any musical comedy if you have someone who doesn't sing that well in it.
I mean, that even goes back to like Guys and Dolls when they did it on Broadway. The actor they had who played Nathan Detroit was not a trained singer. He was like an actor, and that's why Nathan Detroit's character only has one song, which is the Sue Me duet with Adelaide. It's because the actor couldn't sing, and they were okay with that, so they wrote the part around him. So, I mean, I guarantee if Pierce Brosnan was in the original Broadway production, or West End production where it premiered, they would have done the whole, this guy can't sing, but we like his acting, let's not give him a shit ton of songs to sing. Like, this is Pierce Brosnan's third song. So you would think when they're casting this, it would be, let's make sure the guy who can sing, like, has to sing the most out of the three dads, can actually do it.
Yeah.
This is great. Julie Walters. My only issue is that because they backload a whole bunch of songs, it feels like a really overdrawn ending. When, like, basically after the wedding, you get to the not I Dreamed a Dream. It's I Have a Song to Sing reprise where they're walking off into the sunset together. Sophie and Sky after the wedding. But the fact we get Do I Do, then all is said and done, and Take a Chance on Me. Feels like a bit of a drawn out ending when it didn't need to be that way. But I don't know if the song works with it before the wedding because you have that such a big high with Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Doing the Winner Takes It All.
Like, such a great comedic point, though. Like, we had just like a bunch of serious stuff. And it's just like, here, let's just put in like something comedic to break it up.
Exactly. Well, and that's why you put Take a Chance on Me where you do in the stage show. Because you have two back-to-back ballads. You need to kind of have a song to kind of pick up the comedy again before the end.
I honestly feel like at this point they were like, let's just get this like wedding thing over with. Let's just wrap it up. Let's make it as tight as possible so we can jump to this.
It's true. Again, not great partnering if the one guy's running away from you. Maybe take that as a hint.
Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah. Hanging off the building. Like, you must have so much on filming this sequence. Now they're crawling on the roof. That's a stunt double doing the role.
Every time I hear the song, I always think of that scene in The Office when Andy is trying to impress Angela. And he and he does this over like the intercom. Yeah, he calls his two friends call rather and sing the harmonies. That's so great.
I mean, I remember doing this in choir, and the men's part is just take a chance, 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 take a chance. So eventually, it just became Chuck E. Cheese, 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 and nobody noticed.
That's so great.
This one you can only do on a movie is exploding water on stage, unless you're doing Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain,
which I do want to see in Toronto now that it's here.
Yeah. Okay, well, this scene's so funny to me because this was like a crack that broke in the floor and water's coming out and we're just like, yay, we're having a great time.
Well, apparently it's Aphrodite's spring is what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like a water main, but I'm like, is it a water main?
But you... I'd still be a little concerned.
Why are we stripping Pierce Brosnan's shirt off? Don't get that stage choice. Also, apparently the actors said that water was very cold.
I'm sure. Oh, we're at the end now.
We're at the end. And this is where the musical on stage ends too, with that big moon over the stage. And it actually is a beautiful ending. Because once again, it kind of ties up Sky and Sophie's relationship, but not really. Yeah. It leaves it open to her, where it's like, do they go on to get married in a few years after they've traveled the world? Like it's kind of funny how everybody thinks Mamma Mia is Sophie's story. But really, I would argue it's more Donna's story, coming to terms with her past and getting the partner she wants.
Coming to terms with her past and also dealing with the inevitable future of her daughter leaving.
Yeah. I would argue Mamma Mia is more Donna's story than it is Sophie's story.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the Sophie character's on the poster, even though she really isn't, because Sophie's supposed to have blonde hair and that actress on the poster has.
Actually, there is a great deep dive about who that
I read that.
Have you read it?
Yeah, where it's like just like a candid wedding photo, like from like a wedding photographer's website, that they just took that image of the bride laughing and used it.
Yeah, and
like, who is this woman?
That fuzzed effect.
Yeah.
I love that it's not really a real person.
Okay, here we go. So I'm glad. So this is right from the stage show. This whole big finale where like they say the extra songs and such a smart way.
It's just Dancing Queen again.
Yeah. Well, it's Dancing Queen. We got Waterloo.
Oh, do they do
Waterloo as well? Yeah. I don't know if they do it with Mamma Mia again. I know they do Dancing Queen and Waterloo for sure.
These outfits that they're wearing were different from the ones in the.
They're different.
Yeah.
From the Super
Are these
Trooper
not the ones that were like? Do they wear two outfits on the stage one?
They do. They do. In the stage show, they have like the makeshift ones that they wear during Super Trooper.
Oh, okay.
Then at the end, they have like Donna's in red. I think Rosie's in green, and Tanya's in like blue or another color. And then the three guys match up as well.
With all white or silver.
Yeah.
Outfits. Okay.
Yeah. So they do have a special finale outfit that they wear. And I mean, when you watch the Broadway clips of this encore, and you see the audience just standing and dancing, like it's just a feel good show, and everybody gets up at the end and is just dancing, and is encouraged to get up and dance.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, it's just such a great party ending to this piece.
Oh, for sure. And you know that like the people who are watching this are like humming along or
bopping,
listening along to the music the entire time, and it's like, well, let's just do Dancing Queen one more time so that everyone gets it out of their system before they leave the
theater. So smart, Julie Walters.
So much fun. I love that they brought back the like iconic white outfits though for this. So that's great.
Right, and it's kind of the same design that they have in the other ones.
Yeah,
a little bit different. Mm-hmm. This is fun. Do you want another one? I'm sure the movie theater people hated this by the end. When like they have to come clean the movie theater all the time, and they kept hearing Meryl Streep like doing this, and they're like, "No, we don't want another one." Napoleon did surrender. I mean, you could tell they want to do this song, but couldn't figure out a spot to put it in the musical, so they put it as like an encore piece of music. And then they have it in the sequel. They have it as part of Harry and Donna's meeting because they go to like a Napoleon-themed restaurant. I
still haven't seen the sequel.
Really? With Ghost Meryl Streep? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It just looks like they're having a blast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the costumes alone. How could you not?
Right? Like, I would totally...
Like, if I had those big poofy sleeves, I would just be like, flailing my arms around.
Here's yours and Dan's couple's costume for Halloween this year.
Yeah.
Could you see Dan in like one of those outfits?
I couldn't. I don't know if he could.
I'm sure he would do it just for you.
I'll have to get him to sit down to watch the movie first.
You still have to get him to watch this movie.
Yeah. There are a few musical movies I have to get him to watch.
The main ensemble up in the clouds there.
This is just like reminiscent of the fun that like you see actors have when they do their big song at the end.
Oh, there's another ABBA cameo. Bye! I love Julie Walters like shuffling along because she doesn't want to fall in the boots. And there we go, everybody. That was Mamma Mia, the movie. Mamma Mia, the movie.
Mamma Mia, the movie.
Such a weird title.
Mamma Mia, the movie.
Yeah, it's so good. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We've been watching for almost 2 hours, but we made it through. Jessica, have your thoughts changed on the movie? What are your thoughts now after watching it again?
I don't think my thoughts have changed on the movie. I loved it when I first saw it, and I haven't seen it in a while, so it was really great to watch it again. Yeah, I don't think my thoughts on it have changed at all. I think it's great.
That's good.
It might make me want to watch the sequel then.
Well, you gotta watch the sequel.
Now I have to.
Top 3 songs are of the musical.
Top 3 songs. I would say I'm just gonna pull up the list of them just so I can fairly judge. Definitely Slipping Through My Fingers.
Yep.
Is up there.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved I Have a Dream. It's short, but it's beautiful, and I love that it is at the start of the movie and it's at the end.
And her dream is changed by the end too.
Yeah, so I love that, and probably The Winner Takes It All.
Good choices. I would say my 3 still stay the same, which were from the episode. It was Chiquitita, Slipping Through My Fingers, and I think my third one was Mamma Mia, like the title song. Those 3 were always really good. But I mean, the whole musical, it's just great. Like, once again, like I don't think it deserves that 55 on Rotten Tomatoes. I would give it an 8.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
I give it like a 75-80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Because once again, like, it's very popular. People like this piece. It's a feel-good movie, and it knows what it is. This movie doesn't take itself too seriously. And that's what's nice, is that the movie never tries to be an Oscar winner movie. It was never meant for that. It was meant to be a feel-good, pick-me-up movie musical.
Yep.
Yeah. But there we go. Jessica, where can people find and follow you on social media before we sign up?
I am on all social platforms as @JStephMax.
Love it. And where can people follow Jim, your amazing cat?
He has an Instagram for all cat-related content. You can follow, I believe it's Jim_cat on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, make sure you follow Jim. He's a hoot.
Yeah.
And we will keep you all updated on Jessica's wonderful wedding, which is coming down the road. Who knows? Maybe we'll be singing like a Mamma Mia hit list at her wedding. Who knows? Oh, we'll get Sue involved. But there we go. But yeah, you can find and follow me at Mackenzie on all social media platforms. And you can also follow all my other theater antics with Cup of Hemlock Theater, where we're doing artist interviews, play reviews. We just launched a whole new series called Screened Plays, which are where we talk about film adaptations of plays. And our first episode was all about Denzel Washington's turn as the villainous Macbeth. So you can hear all about that there too. But for now, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We will have audio-only versions of this available next Friday on our podcast feed. And we cannot wait to have Jessica back for Chicago, which the date, I believe, is October 29th. Let me just confirm that for everybody so we can remember, so we can make sure the date is correct. Hold on, going to my calendar here, ladies and gentlemen. Because Jessica's coming back for a follow-up appearance. Jessica Maxwell, you are coming back on Saturday, October 29th at 7 p.m. Before that, we are doing a live stream of the movie musical Cats with our other friend of the podcast, Jillian Robinson. She's never seen the movie before, so I thought it was fitting for her to get her live stream reaction.
Oh man, she's in for a treat.
Oh yes, she is. I sat through it 3 times, theaters, once to watch it, and then once to watch it with director's commentary to see what the hell Tom Hooper was thinking.
Oh,
so,
brave. I don't even think I finished it.
Never show Dan Cats the musical.
No, we watched it together.
What? He's seen Cats, but not Mamma Mia?
Make it make sense. Well, we didn't finish it, so I think we probably got maybe at least an hour into it, and he was like, I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, good, because I can't either.
It's so bad. It's
yeah, well,
so bad.
it was not good.
There we go. All right, everybody. Tune in next for our next episode, which is Cats, the movie with Jillian Robinson on Friday, October 21st at 7:30 p.m. And until then, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe. Make sure you go follow Jessica and Jim the Cat. And we can't wait to have her back for October 29th for Chicago, starring Richard Gere, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Queen Latifah, and Renee Zellweger, and Christine Baranski.
Yes.
All that good stuff. All right, everybody. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.